7 o'clock, we will call the meeting to order. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Rissy.
Here.
Trustee Nordhook.
Here.
Supervisor Lesbrunz.
Here.
Treasurer Corstange.
Here.
Trustee Shipley.
Present.
Trustee Norddyke.
Present.
And Clerk Slater present.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we approve tonight's agenda, we have an amendment to make. We are going to add, or we will propose the agenda with the following amendment, 11.5. So following public comments, we're going to enter into closed session for MCL 15.268. That being to discuss or consider material exempt from discussion by state or federal statute. So with that amendment to add the closed session, is there discussion or a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Shipley makes a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Support. So motion by trustee Shipley, supported by treasurer Corstange to approve tonight's agenda with the amendment mentioned. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Having no presentations, Article 5, public comments. Now is the time to comment on anything on tonight's agenda, which would be just one item tonight, and it would be amending the ordinance, the zoning on the large piece of property that wasn't developed in Spalding. Anyone wishing to comment on that issue? Please state your name, address, and we welcome your feedback.
I got very good. So my name's AJ Bashara. I'm at 4810 Cavalcade. And my house is one of the two houses that was split off on that large property in the northwest. A lot of you guys that were on the planning commission know. I just had two quick comments. One, I think, yes, we should rezone it so a new plan can be approved. However, I just want to make sure it doesn't get forgotten. Back in 2017, there's a path that was built between my house and my neighbor's property. And so my concern is, since the property was built or since the path was created, it's never been maintained. So if we rezone it, I just don't want it to get forgotten that the initial land developer created this and they have a legal easement to maintain it. The ultimate concern is me and my neighbor don't want to be responsible for the replacing it and all the landscaping that's going to go along with, the removal of the path. Multiple people within the township have agreed that it should have never been there in the first place. So I don't know what can be done now or, in the front end or the back end, but I just want to make sure it's not forgotten. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments in person or virtually? Article 6, approval of tonight's consent agenda.
Shipley makes a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Support.
The motion by trustee Shipley, supported by trustee Nordhook to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Before we jump into financial actions, planning director, or I'm sorry, Ms. Venturini, do you have anything to? Finance director, what did I say? Planning, zoning, planning, parks. Lorna, do you have anything to mention about the invoices?
I do have a comment and an updated payables list when you get to that point of approval that I could speak to, given permission.
You can now. Okay.
Thank you for the recognition and opportunity. Good evening, all. About an hour ago, I sent out an email, nothing like the last minute, with an updated payables list, and you also have the updated list in front of you. I was out last week on a long planned vacation, so if you notice the payables list in your packet, it did not have my normal signing statement. In the last couple days, I've gone through the invoice list. So the updated list has the normal statement. And during the review, we discovered invoices from 2 vendors that should have been on the original list that were not. The Troyer Group, who's the company that performed the rec park plan, has 3 invoices totaling $8,000. On a municipal basis, that's relatively minor dollar amount, certainly not a personal minor. And Carbon 6 Construction, who's working on the library, had 2 pay estimates. And those 2 estimates total almost $200,000. And subcontractors are waiting to be paid once we pay Carbon 6. If you look at the calendar, there are 5 Wednesdays in April. So if those invoices are not approved tonight, they won't be reviewed by the board until May 14th. That's 3 weeks, and that's a long time for contractors to wait for payment. So those new payments, additional payments, are in this new report, and they're highlighted in yellow. Those 2 contractors are the only additional payments. During my review process, which is very, very typical, this is why I review items, we've made changes in account numbers and maybe splits between the general fund and, say, the building fund for our health insurance. Those kind of changes are highlighted in blue. Oh, look at that, maize and blue, go figure. The dollar amounts have not changed overall with the blue items. And with that, I seek your approval, your permission to add these items last minute and approve payables as presented.
One question.
Yes.
The Troyer Group and then Carbon 6, those are both budgeted items. and within budget,
Absolutely,
correct?
absolutely.
There's
There's
nothing,
nothing with the
it
amount.
sounds like they're a lot, but they're all within budget. We're just paying them, correct?
Correct. They should have been on the original list last week. Wasn't there to do the normal review. We have them on now.
Thank you. Thanks for catching that.
Thank you.
Why not?
Yes.
Ask a question. What is the difference between the building fund and the building department?
The building fund is Fund 249.
Yeah.
And then the building department is 371. Those are state of Michigan defined numbers.
Yeah.
And so in the building fund, you would expect to only find a building department or maybe a personnel benefits department 250. You would never find, say, a fire department, which is Department 336. You would never see a 336 attached to the building fund. They just have to have those
So when I think
separate
of-
accounting components.
But it relates to the building department, the building fund. So when I think about that, like 250 sits in because it's an HR, we have everything else seems to be just hodgepodged into the building department. Is there, like, I'll give you an example, like we have books and mileage that are there, education that's there, kitchen supplies, and perhaps that's where it should be. I'm not questioning that. I'm just trying to think about how I should think about it,
Mm.
right? So
Mhm.
it's all the building department, just different funds. And when I see building fund, is it would be building something that's where I'm getting.
Oh, no,
confused.
not at all. It's
Yeah.
building inspection fund.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes.
That's all.
Mhm. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
With these updated invoices, there a motion or further discussion for financial action approval?
Make a motion to take action on the final actions as presented.
Support. And by action, I'm assuming approval.
Yes.
Motion by trustee Rizzi, supported by treasurer Corstange to approve tonight's financial actions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Having no unfinished business, Article 9, item 030-2025. Consider approval of introduction of ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance map at 1701 Spalding Avenue to rezone this parcel to agricultural rural conservation, otherwise known as ARC. Planning Director Hendrick?
This is the same item that was before you in February, the planning commission. last, earlier this month. Planning Commission held a public hearing and did have some conversation with the property owner, all of those included in the request for board action. Additionally, Mr. Kuchera, his comments are included in your packet or in your RDA, as well as the former property owner who now owns the agricultural use of Street. He just informed us of the condition of the land. After holding a public hearing, the owner of the property has back and forth with that's included in the packet. However, he said he would seek the public hearing and didn't have any public comment, and he sent an email saying, you know, this is probably not what it's saying. So they were requesting that we just introduce this ordinance with an adoption in the next meeting. Question?
Yeah, I just want to add to that this was actually at the request of the board. We previously discussed this, and so it was the direction of the board to refer this back to the planning commission to go through the process to start the rezoning process. So that's actually been done, and that's why it's back before you tonight to close out that process. Part 1 of 2.
And ARC was the zoning before that PUD was created, correct?
Correct.
As I understand from previous discussions, this is the cleanest way to correct this situation with multiple changes. So with that, I make a motion that we approve the introduction.
Support.
That's a motion by trustee Shipley, supported by trustee Nordike, to approve the introduction of ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance for that property as presented. Before we vote, are there any additional comments for discussion? Trustee Rizzi?
I just wanted to ask one quick question. If I recall, this was actually put in a PUD, I think all the way back in like 2014, and then nothing happened, and it was amended in 17, and nothing happened. And now we're in 2025, 11 years later. Is that accurate? Okay.
The ownership changed between the 2014 and 20.
I do not know. I believe so, but I don't know.
I don't think the ownership. I think the applicants might have changed based on a potential purchaser of property, but I think is it Cascade 1? Yeah. I think who also owns the rights to your easement.
Did we determine that?
Well, I'm no attorney. I just read through the easement. The easement language that was included in the packet, the planning commission packet. I read it that it was between the property owner and Cascade 1. The Cascade 1 is the person that the business or the entity that now has the property rights, who is the current owner of the property. Correct. Yes.
And I think though that easement was supposed to be in the name of the township, if I'm not mistaken.
That would make more sense, but that's
Yeah.
not how it was written.
Right.
It was recorded as between the builder who built your homes and the current and.
So
Owner.
between two private parties.
Correct.
So as of now, limited township's hands are tied as far as.
Yeah, it's not our easement.
Thank you for the clarification. You can proceed as far as I'm concerned.
Going forward, it won't be, I mean. Better ways to do things.
There'll be a path to nowhere.
But yeah. who knows?
Good for bird
You
watching.
might wanna,
I mean,
put a pig farm
I
back
often go
there.
there and walk it
Yeah,
down.
you might want to put a
see.
pig farm and have a walkway through it. You never know.
Yeah,
But in theory,
More birds.
maybe the owner of these or the other person, probably not gonna get much.
In time, somebody will decide to do something and we'll apply some pressure.
Or nature will take its course. Or the current owners of those houses could go back to Cascade 1 for fulfillment of their end of the easement contract.
I'm not an attorney.
No, you're doing just fine.
Yeah, Mike, I'm like, I've read it and I know what I would do if I lived in your house, but I'm just saying.
Me too. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, I read through it and I'm like, oh, it's between the previous builder gave the easement to Cascade One, who's the current owner of the property. There are stipulations and things that they needed to uphold during that. It's between you and your neighbor and Cascade One.
Yeah, and eventually I agree with Scott that there will be development there, and then we'll be able to, probably the planning commission will be able to restructure that easement agreement for that pathway, which I would advise as well.
Mhm. Any additional comments? No. So that was a motion on the table from trustee Shipley, supported by trustee Nordike to approve as stated. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So that property is now properly zoned to revert back to agricultural.
No. This was the introduction.
Oh, and then we wait, sorry, after May 14th. So it's looking good at this point, but we're not,
Train is going down the tracks.
we haven't landed it. Public comments. Comments are welcome on whether it was tonight's discussion item or anything township related.
Why everybody rush up at once?
Anyone online? With that, Article 11.5, that would be the time for closed session.
Make a motion to move to closed session.
Support.
I had it first.
I think you did.
The sound travel. That's a motion by trustee Nordike, approved by trustee Shipley to enter closed session. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Nordike,
Yes.
trustee Shipley,
Yes.
treasurer Coruscant.
Yes.
Trustee Nordhook.
Yes.
Trustee Rissy,
Yes.
clerk Slater, yes, supervisor Westbrook.
Yes. We're now in closed session, and when we're finished, we'll come back with final comments. Thank you. Thanks for coming tonight.
Make a motion to return to open session. Support.
Motion by trustee Rizzi, supported by trustee Shipley to return to open session. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are now back in open session. Article 12, manager comments.
They have nothing tonight.
Board comments, trustee Shipley?
Although we lost most of our in-person audience, if there's anybody on Zoom, thanks for watching. Once again, we try and do what's best for the majority of the township, and we can't always please every individual.
Trustee Norton.
No comment.
Yes, I had a couple comments. I noticed there is a large sign at the entrance to Cascade Park that says says something about a bipartisan project and with the park, I'm assuming it has to do with the highway.
You want me to comment on that, Grace? Okay, so that sign is actually part of the bipartisan infrastructure funding plan that was done a few years ago. The PFAS restoration project with the water connections was funded partially by a federal grant. That's a requirement of the grant to have the sign up. It was already up once and we removed it and the sign was put back up, so.
Did you come back with a little different wording?
It is a completely different sign. We still have the old one. We did not install that, but it is close enough. We have no other place to put it unless it went on private property.
You didn't put it behind the
in-
back?
We're still looking at other options within that part. We could push it towards the back, but it was put up as part of
Okay,
the compliance to comply with the federal grant. Not for us, but for the city of Grand Rapids, who's actually conducting the connections. And they're the ones that were the recipients, so it has to be up.
Did they
Interesting.
install it?
Mhm.
Did they ask you ahead of time? Where do you want
There was
this?
big debate about it. It was brought to our attention. They finally realized that it was gone, the first one.
Down the first one.
8 months ago. And then there was some discussion about where it goes and then they put it back where.
But
where
they
had
did,
the
they
first
did
time.
have a discussion with you. It wasn't, they didn't just show
We
up.
were in the midst of deciding where we wanted it.
Yeah.
And then we came in on Monday and it was there.
so how long does a sign like that have to stay up? I mean, it's.
I believe till the project's completed.
Okay,
Like years from now?
Well, that's probably, well, not necessarily, no, because it should be, majority should be completed this year.
Right.
And
not
that,
in
the funding
totality.
was done for,
Phase two, phase three?
Phase two, water connection. So
Okay.
once it's restoration, I don't know. I don't have the specifics of the grant language, but
Other than move, like you said, moving it behind the bathroom or hiding it somewhere else in the park, why is it in front of the park? That makes it seem like they're.
it was
doing
the
something to
closest
park.
connection they could get to public property.
Really?
Like when you see like highway road projects and stuff like that, they're always on public right of way and in public
But
property.
They're by the project. This makes it feel like they're funding.
Don't we
something
own
within the
property on
park.
Tanglewood and
Right on the corner
at
of
the bottom of
Tanglewood.
the hill?
Yeah,
That's a
right-
perfect place for them.
I'm not familiar with that parcel.
there's that lot right on the, right in.
We own the corner
right in-
lot.
Yeah, right in the corner lot where the sign is that Don McFarland made. says
All the water
Whispering
mains
Brook.
went in.
Oh.
Okay,
You can put it right there.
they're not opposed to moving it. It just has to be up. Clearly, somebody said something to them.
Interesting,
Oh, that's funny.
interesting.
I'd go with that.
Interesting.
Go with that lot on the corner of Tanglewood and.
Something. It just
Okay.
feels because it's by the park and hopefully this summer our park is gonna look 100% better. And I'd hate for people to assume that
Associate
that
with that.
is, yes, I don't like.
I was
that.
actually at that park tonight. It is packed.
And- Yeah, and not that I like the sign at all, but if we have to have it, I would rather have it closer to the water.
We'll continue to look.
So I had
If
one.
an owner allowed you to put it on their property, like Timmy's got a lot of woods.
Right by the ball.
I had another comment. I was curious if anybody has any information regarding the stakes or the caution tape that stretch from the railroad tracks on Whitneyville
Mhm.
all the way down to the 7700 block of Cascade Road, where it crosses Cascade Road and then goes down to the river.
We're still investigating. It has to be a utility company, and I'm assuming it's probably fiber. Eric was looking into it. He actually went and ran the Boston Marathon, did really well on Monday, and so he's back tomorrow, so I'll follow up with him tomorrow.
Okay,
Your gas line?
do we,
No,
it's
it's on the
not,
opposite side of the street, so we don't think that's what it is.
do we, in the bridge reconstruct, I know when we talked, in the Pathways Committee, there was talk about lighting and all sorts of different things. I noticed they're putting two conduits in the bridge. Is that part of our project or is that something the county put in potentially for whoever put these stakes?
I'll verify, but I believe it was, most construction projects now include conduit because everything's going underground. I'll verify because I don't know if it was us or if somebody else requested it.
All right,
It
Well,
only
my-
makes sense to put it in though.
Mhm.
So in case there ever needs to be something going across the bridge, we can put it in the conduit.
right. It's interesting that these stakes end right at the bridge and I noticed the guy that I believe was putting them in was talking with our engineering firm because they were both parked side by side within the bridge closure the morning that those stakes showed up. So, I didn't know if there was a connection there, I
Yeah,
guess,
I
but
do not know.
the third thing I was gonna ask about is when they replaced the gas line on Cascade Road by Whispering Ridge. I believe the contractors left their road closure signs. Three of them along Cascade Road between Cahoon and Kenrob. And I've had several people ask me if those are.
I
gonna
don't
get
think that
picked up.
project's complete. So they may have left them because they want to bring new ones, but that project, if you look at the state that that's in, it's not complete.
Okay, because they took the signs away at all the cones in the other direction.
I'll have to verify.
Yeah, that's on the westbound side of Cascade Road. Okay.
Trustee Norwood?
So we've had solicitors 2 nights in a row. None of them are wearing Cascade Township badges. Just wondering what's going on there. Can we put something on the website noticing these people that they have to have? them?
We can, and actually the sheriff's office was engaged today and called the company. I had a couple of complaints from residents last night. Talked to Omar. They took pictures. They know the company that was out there doing it. So,
The bug company.
Different
Echo
companies
Shield.
tonight.
oh, what was the one tonight?
I don't know.
I think it's
Oh.
the bug company.
They want to do bugs, they want to do lawns. they wanna
Yes, I
do-
got the two.
They want to do everything just like the one last.
The
night.
only approved solicitor we have in the township right now is Anderson Windows, and they only wanted 2 days and theirs is already expired. So there should be no solicitors in the township. So if there is, one, you can call the sheriff's office if that night, if we're not here, but 2, let me know so we can get out and address it the next day, which is what we did today with Echo Shield.
Oh, I got somebody on Saturday about bugs.
That's Echo Shield.
And I
Is that
said,
what she-
bug off. No.
I print the forms. You can print them right off the website and I just hand them to them.
Oh,
And
that's
say,
good.
this is what you need to do to submit. And
I haven't.
I just let out our huge slobbery Newfoundland and I'm like, skin issues, good luck. We never get solicitors.
Well,
And
there's
an
that.
and an invisible fence.
I just live off the beaten path. Nobody comes to my house, looks so run down, they all stay away.
Somebody doesn't care.
Clerk's later. No comments.
No, I'm here either. Is there a motion?
Motion made for adjournment.
Oh, I'm sorry, time out.
Wait.
oh,
I have
Last,
no comments. I
last-
think by skipping over me.
last but not least. Treasurer Person?
No, no comments.
Do you have any comments before? That makes no difference.
But it's just the principle that you said.
It's just being polite.
Asking is what counts, I say.
All right, motion to adjourn. Did someone make it?
Yep.
Did somebody
Support.
second it? By Shipley, supported by Rizzi, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.